Welcome back, everybody, to the Cleveland Guardians franchise here on MLB The Show 22. We are currently around halfway through the month of May here in season number 3, and the team is playing some good baseball. We're 26-13 up to this point. Today we're going to get through the rest of May, entering the month of June, right before the MLB draft, which will be in the next episode. As we take a look at the standings around a quarter of a way through the season, a lot of the usual suspects, a lead in the American League with the Yankees and the Astros atop of their divisions. Us and the White Sox currently neck and neck. They have a slight lead against us, but it's May, so I'm not really worried yet. In the National League, we've got some surprises. The Phillies lead the East with the Marlins and Braves close behind. The Brewers lead the Central with the Cubs in second, and the Dodgers lead the West, shortly followed behind by the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. So the National League appears to be quite surprising. As it stands now, obviously, we've won around two-thirds of our games. We're playing really well, and we're in the top 5 in most of the important statistics in terms of hitting. We're 6th in ERA. We're 4th in earned runs allowed. So the offense is doing well, the pitching is doing well, and that has led us to tied for the second-best winning percentage in all of baseball. I think the team is in a pretty good spot as of now. The lineup is doing pretty well. The shortstop position has not been great with Andres Jimenez and Brian Rocchio. But other than that, the rest of the lineup has been good. The pitching rotation's been quite solid as well. We just called up Daniel Espino in the last episode after Blake Snell suffered a season-ending torn labrum. Espino's pitched in one big league game so far, and he pitched really well. 6 2/3, only allowing 1 run in a win over the San Francisco Giants. The bullpen has been, for the most part, fantastic as well, other than Aaron Loop. Camilo Doval's breaking out. Emmanuel Clase has not allowed a run since opening day. Life is good right now. We will be adding to the bullpen, calling up Alex Vesia from AAA. I wanted to add another bullpen arm to the big league team, and he's been pretty good this year in the minors. I wanted to send down one of these first basemen. Josh Naylor and Bobby Bradley both haven't gotten to play a lot this year. Naylor has been better, but I'm going to be sending him down instead of Bradley because Bradley has had 2 of his 3 minor league options used, whereas Naylor hasn't had any of his options used yet. Naylor has been really good in 13 at-bats, which is obviously a small sample size, but this way he can get more at-bats, and we can add another bullpen arm with Alex Vesia, a talented lefty. I don't think Naylor's going to stay in AAA for long. It's just that I had to send down somebody, and unfortunately it's him. We're going to simulate through this Kansas City Royals series. As you guys know, we do not like the Royals, and they do not like us. We would lose the first 2 games, but win the next 2, so we end up splitting against Kansas City. In Daniel Espino's start, we won 5-3. He again pitched 6 2/3, allowing only 2 runs and getting the win. So he has another solid start under his belt. We're going to play this first game here at home against the Detroit Tigers. Tristan McKenzie has really been struggling the past month or so after a pretty good start to the season. So we're going to get to pitch with him today, see what's up, what's wrong with him, and hopefully he can get back in a groove here against a talented Tigers team who is hot at the moment. They're 23-21, currently in 3rd place of the American League Central, just behind us and the Chicago White Sox. Let's take a look at both lineups. Regular starters for the most part here for both sides. On the mound for the Guardians will be Tristan McKenzie, who had a great season last year, but this year he's been underwhelming. 5.15 ERA, 1.4 whip. His whip isn't terrible, and I think it suggests that his ERA will go down as the year goes along, but obviously we would like to see him pitching better than a 5 ERA because we know he's a really talented player. Riley Green leads off for the Tigers. He gets a 10-pitch walk. Great at bat for Green, who is really blossoming into a star, hitting .315 on the year. Spencer Torkelson grounds it to 3rd with 1 away, and the Guardians turn the 5-4-3 double play. Good work by the Cleveland infield. Pretty solid first inning for Tristan McKenzie, and we go to the bottom half of the frame. The rookie, Jackson Jobe, is on the mound for the Tigers. He's been a little bit underwhelming this year, 4.63 ERA, but he is super young, only around 21 years old. So obviously you're going to see growing pains with a rookie pitcher, as with 2 away, Ketel Marte grounds it to 2nd. 1-2-3 inning there for Jobe, the former 3rd overall pick in the 2021 Major League Baseball draft. Joey Gallo leads off the top of the 2nd here for Detroit as it's a grounder to 3rd. What a throw on the backhand by Jose Ramirez. Gallo is safe at first, but manager Giovanni Cabrera thinks otherwise. He's going to challenge this call. An interesting decision here from the Cleveland Guardian dugout, and we'll get another look if Gallo was actually safe. A great defensive play regardless, and that's really close, but I think he is out. The ball looks to be in Bell's glove right there as Gallo is just touching. I mean, that is so close. We're We're going to have to see what the official call on the field is. And he's out of there. A great challenge by Giovanni Cabrera. Joey Gallo called out at first. That'll bring up Javier Baez for Detroit. Grounds this one down the line, and Ramirez is unable to make the play this time. That'll go for a single, and Javi Baez, the $140 million man, is aboard with one away here for Detroit. That'll bring up Victor Reyes. It's this one high and deep into center. Margot chasing after it, and he cannot make the play. So that could be an extra base hit for Victor Reyes. He will roll into second with a double. Javi Baez is safe at third, and now the Tigers have 2 runners in scoring position. A huge opportunity here for Jonathan Schoop. 3-1 pitch, Schoop draws a walk, and the bases are now loaded. There's a force out at all bases, however. Got to look out for the ground ball. I don't think that's going to be an issue, though. Keibert Ruiz with a bomb into left center field. That one goes over the fence. A grand slam for the Detroit Tigers off the bat of Keibert Ruiz, his 4th home run of the season. And the Tigers take a 4-0 lead here at the top of the second. A huge grand slam for Keibert Ruiz as we now go into the third. Colton Wong leads it off with a single into left. So far, it's been all Detroit today. Cleveland's offense has been pretty bad. Tristan McKenzie has not looked sharp here on the mound as he faces off against Spencer Torkelson. An 11-pitch walk. I've got to imagine the Cleveland bullpen is starting to get active as McKenzie is quickly having another rough start. But he does strike out Joey Gallo on the 85-mile-an-hour splitter, so hopefully that can lead to some momentum. That'll bring up Javier Baez. Bloops this one into right, and this one will drop fair for a base hit. And for a second straight inning, the Tigers have loaded the bases. They hit a grand slam in the second inning. We'll see if they can get similar success here. It's Victor Reyes who grounds it to first. Bell gets it over to Jimenez. Back to Bell. 3-6-3 double play. The Tigers leave the bases loaded, but they still lead 4-0. Let's see if Cleveland's offense can get anything going here in the bottom of the third, as it's Andres Jimenez who grounds it to first, fielded cleanly by Torkelson. 3 perfect innings so far for Jackson Jobe, who is quickly having one of his best starts as a Tiger. Into the top of the fourth, Jonathan Schoop goes down on the fastball. Hopefully McKenzie can have a good inning. Maybe he can stick around for a 5th inning, possibly, if things go well, as Keibert Ruiz, who had the salami earlier, he's going to draw a walk. So Ruiz is aboard now with one away for Yandy Diaz. He thought that was ball 4, but the umpire behind the plate has other plans. Diaz goes down looking. That'll bring up Riley Green, who hits this one into the gap, likely for extra bases. This could score a run, and he will hold up at third. So it's a double for Riley Green. Ruiz stays at third. And now there's a pair of runners in scoring position here for Colton Wong, who's going to fly this one into left center. Manuel Margot is under it. He will make the play. That'll end Tristan McKenzie's day. 4 innings, 4 earned, all of which came off the grand slam of the second inning by Keibert Ruiz. McKenzie allowed a lot of base runners today. Luckily, the Guardians were able to get out of some jams the past couple of innings. But their offense has got to do something right now. George Valera hits this one high and deep in a right at the track, at the wall. It's caught. That pitch wasn't in the zone. If it was, Valera probably would have taken that one the distance, but it is caught by Green. That'll bring up Jesus Sanchez. He wants to make sure this one gets over the fence. This one looks to be gone. A solo home run for Jesus Sanchez, and the Guardians are finally on the board. That's his 7th home run of the year. Jesus Sanchez has been such a pleasant addition to this lineup. He's hit for great average all year, and the power is really starting to come along. He wasn't hitting for much power earlier in the season, but now he is, and now the offense is starting to get into a rhythm as Ketel Marte singles it into center. Marte amongst the American League leaders in batting average. 2 away for Franmil Reyes. He goes down on the slider. So the Guardians do finally get on the board after the solo home run by Jesus Sanchez, and it's 4-1. Alex Vesia in the game here in the 5th inning, his 4th big league appearance of the year, and it will not start off super well as Spencer Torkelson going to hit this one nicely for a single. That one looked like it could have been more, but Valera was able to get over to it quickly. But nonetheless, the Tigers have another base runner. They are really hitting the ball well today. Joey Gallo goes down chasing on the outside slider for the first out of the inning. Little lefty on lefty crime. That'll bring up Javier Baez. He is 3 for 3 today, singling into right field. So now the Tigers have 2 runners aboard here and a big opportunity to extend this lead. That'll bring up Victor Reyes, who's going to bloop this one into right. That one's going to drop for a hit, and the Tigers load the bases again. The Tigers have nearly gone through their batting order 3 times today, whereas Cleveland has barely made it through once. Keibert Ruiz with 2 away goes down looking. That'll end the 5th. The Tigers once again leave the bases loaded as Alex Vesia is fired up to get out of the jam. And we're going to go to the bottom of the 5th. Score remains 4-1. Here is Josh Bell with a moonshot into center field. An absolute nuclear missile off the bat of Josh Bell, and it's now 4-2. Bell has been pretty underwhelming the past month or so after he started the season as maybe the best hitter in the American League. Hopefully that one can help him get out of his slump, that one at 449 feet. Manuel Margot looking to keep the offense churning as that drops for a base hit. Riley Green unable to make the play. The Tigers nearly got Margot out there. He thought about going 2, but he holds up at 1. That'll bring up Luis Campusano, grounds it to third. The Tigers with an opportunity to turn 2, which they do. 5-4-3 double play. Good work there by the Detroit infield as we go into the top of the 6th. Aaron Loop in for Cleveland. He was signed to a 1-year deal in the offseason, and he's been honestly pretty underwhelming this year with an ERA at 5.6. Yandy Diaz opens things up, singling it into center, grounded by his former teammate, Manuel Margot. Both Diaz and Margot played together in Tampa Bay. Riley Green now gets another base hit, singling into left. The Tigers are just getting hits at will right now. Their offense is cruising, but they haven't been able to score a ton of runs. But now they're going to add 3 more. Joey Gallo goes oppo taco. 3-run homer into left center field, and it is now a 7-2 ball game. Gallo with his 17th home run of the season. He is at the top of the American League lead in terms of homers as Javier Baez strikes out. That'll end the inning. Not a good frame there for Loop. He allows 3, courteous of the home run by Gallo. Bottom 6, here's Jesus Sanchez, who homered in his last at-bat. Keeps this one in the ballpark, but it will go for a base hit. Jackson Job's pitch count is starting to get a little bit high, and from there, they would take him out of the game. He'll be replaced by Jose Cisnero, who's been pretty bad this year, 6.75 ERA. We'll see if this pitching change proves to be a good decision for the Tigers. And short answer, it would not. Jose Ramirez launches a piss missile into right center. You can forget about it. A home run for J-Ram, and it's now 7-4. Jose Ramirez continuing to hit for great power this year. That's his team-leading 14th home run of the season. All 3 of Cleveland's homers have been no-doubters today, and they bring the lead within 3. The decision to take Jackson Jobe out of the game proves to be a mistake, but Cisnero will get out of it, or maybe not! Spencer Torkelson with a throwing error. He tried to get it to Cisnero, but the throw was offline. I think the Tigers kind of rushed that. He didn't need to send it to Cisnero right away, and Cleveland keeps the inning alive as Josh Bell grounds it to second. Juan flips it over to Baez, so the Tigers do get out of it. The error proves not to be an issue, but Cleveland does score 2, and we go to the 7th. Camilo Duvall in for the Guardians, 1.82 ERA. He is really pitching like an all-star this year. Great to see him turning into a star as Victor Reyes grounds it to short. Going to be a tough throw for Jimenez, not in time, and it's an infield single for Victor Reyes. The Tigers with another base hit. I'm pretty sure they've gotten a base hit in like every inning except for maybe the first. Jonathan Scope goes down on the way outside slider. A nasty pitch by Camilo Duvall. Runner heads 2. The throw from Campusano is in time. He got him. The Tigers sent Victor Reyes to second, and he is out of there. Following pitch, Keibert Ruiz goes down on the slider. Great inning for Camilo Duvall, continuing his fantastic season, and it remains 7-4. Jacob Barnes is into the game for the Tigers here in the bottom of the 7th, 4.82 ERA. His first batter is Manny Margot, singled earlier, and he's going to get another one. Margot, the solid day of the plate here, 2 for 3. We'll see if the Guardians can really start a rally here in the 7th inning, as that'll bring up the catcher, Luis Campusano. 3-1 pitch, he's going to draw a walk, so the Guardians get 2 runners aboard with nobody out. A huge opportunity to break into this lead. 2 away for Jesus Sanchez, hits it well into center, but it is caught, and the Guardians will score nobody. Game remains 7-4 here through 7. We'll see if the Tigers can hold on for victory or if Cleveland can pull out a rally. Camilo Duvall still in the game here in the top of the 8th. As Riley Green gets his 3rd hit of the game. All of his hits have gone opposite field. Very interesting. They've all gone to left field or left center. Certainly shows his ability as a hitter as Colton Juan strikes out on the low slider, and then Torkelson grounds it to the pitcher. Duvall makes the play. 2 scoreless innings for Camilo Duvall, and it remains 7-4 here going into the bottom half of the 8th inning. We'll see if this is where Cleveland can start to punch back into this game, as Detroit would make another pitching change. The former Oriole Tyler Wells into the game. 1.62 ERA for the 6'8" right-hander. With one away, Jose Ramirez, who homered in his last at-bat, draws a walk. So Ramirez is aboard. Cleveland continuing to do a better job of getting base runners, but it doesn't look like they're going to keep this one, as it's a double play for Franmil Reyes, swinging at a pitch way low. So the Guardians don't do anything in the 8th. We go to the 9th, where it's James Karinchak checking into the game. He has an ERA at 4.42. He's been honestly quite underwhelming this year, coming off that great year last season as Joey Gallo goes down to the 96-mile-an-hour fastball. His 3rd strikeout of the game. Javi Baez strikes out as well, goes on the two-seam fastball for the 2nd out of the inning, and then Victor Reyes goes down again on the two-seamer. A trio of strikeouts for James Karinchak. And now it'll be Kendall Graveman into the save opportunity for the Tigers. 13 for 14 in save ops this season, 2.31 ERA. His first batter is Josh Bell, 1 for 3 with a homer, 2-1 pitch. Bell's going to line this one into right field. That'll drop for a single. So the Guardians start the inning with a base runner. We'll see if this is where they can finally get their rally. Elliot Ramos in as a pinch hitter, 2-1 count, and he's going to rip this one into left, likely for extra bases. A big hit off the bench for Elliot Ramos, who's had a really good season. Bell barely safe at 3rd, but nonetheless, it is a double for Elliot Ramos. 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out for Luis Campusano as it's a pass ball. The Guardians send Bell home, and that backfires badly. Bell is out at the plate. I think with no outs, that just is a really bad decision by Cleveland to send those base runners. If there was 2 outs, maybe, but with no outs, that seems kind of stupid in hindsight. Luis Campusano is going to draw a walk, so again, there's 2 aboard. Brian Rocchio in as a pinch hitter. He's going to go down looking on the sinker. Rocchio entered the game earlier as a defensive substitution, so he's been in for a couple innings. Now it comes down to George Valera, who's going to ground this one to 2nd. Wine flips it over to Baez, and the Detroit Tigers take this one home by the final score of 7-4. The Tigers' offense was really impressive today. They were getting base hits left and right, but they only scored on 2 plays. The grand slam by Keibert Ruiz in the 2nd inning and the 3-run shot by Joey Gallo in the 6th inning. But they had 14 hits. They hit for really good contact the entire game, and their pitching did enough to win. Jackson Jobe started the game off on fire. He did kind of cool down after that. But the bullpen was really good, other than the home run that Cisnero allowed. Barnes, Farmer, Wells, and Graveman got the job done. 4 runs, 9 hits here for Cleveland. We did have 3 home runs from Sanchez, Ramirez, and Bell, but it wasn't enough. McKenzie gets the loss, another questionable outing for him. His ERA now up to 5.48. So we're going to simulate this Tiger series here. I wanted to get an opportunity to play against San Diego. I always find it fun playing at interleague parks. We would end up winning both games. The second one, Shane Bieber started. Shane Bieber usually owns the Tigers. Today, not as much so, but we still ended up winning. So before we get to this game against the Padres, we have some things to talk about with this team because there's one glaring issue, and it's the shortstop position. Brian Rocchio has been just bad this year. 1.59 average. His OPS is at like 450. He is just not adjusted to Major League hitting. Andres Jimenez is the other player who regularly starts at shortstop, and he hasn't been a whole lot better. 198 batting average. His OPS is in the 500s. I'm a little bit concerned about Jimenez's future because he is starting to regress at just 25 years old, and I don't think this is a coincidence. His potential is an 82, so he's pretty much capped off here. This is Andres Jimenez's peak. I don't think hitting 550 OPS is really what I want in a player's peak. He's not the only player who might be peaking early. Tristan McKenzie and Emmanuel Clase have both reached their potentials as well. I'm not as concerned about Clase because he's just an absolute stud. But with both McKenzie and Jimenez, they're not going to get much better. So we do have to keep an eye on both of them. We have some young shortstops in the farm system. Bliss, Arias, Wynn. I just don't really trust those guys yet at the big league level. I think the most likely course of action is that we call up Ramon Ramiro soon. We're not going to do it yet, but if Jimenez and Rocchio are still struggling going into the month of June and Ramiro is still playing well, I think we're going to make a move. Ramiro would probably play second every day, and I think Ketel Marte would slide over to short. So I think that's what's going to happen if both Rocchio and Jimenez are still playing as poorly as they are. So that'll bring us to the second game of the day here in San Diego against the Padres. These two teams have made a number of moves with each other over the past few seasons. Guys like Franmil Reyes, Luis Campusano, and Manuel Margot all started their careers here in San Diego, and the Padres recently acquired former Guardians catcher Austin Hedges. On the mound today for the Padres is the veteran righty Yu Darvish. At 37 years old, he is still pitching at a high level, 3.13 ERA, 1.37 whip. The Padres as a whole have not lived up to expectations this year, but Darvish has not disappointed. Jesus Sanchez goes down on the cutter. That pitch felt so slow going into the strike zone, and it completely fooled Jesus Sanchez. That'll bring up Ketel Marte, still having a great season, hitting .341. He goes down looking on the cutter. That pitch is filthy from Yu Darvish, I'm not going to lie. The Guardians are going to go with the young righty, Daniel Espino, making his third big league start. 2-0, 2.03 ERA. So far, through 2 big league appearances, he is passing the eye test with flying colors. Cedric Mullins goes down looking on the curveball. That pitch was up for a while, and it curved down quick. That'll bring up Fernando Tatis Jr. with 2 away, pops this one up to third. Jose Ramirez under it. A quick 1-2-3 inning for both pitchers. Despite being nearly 15 years apart in age, they both get through the first inning well. Into the second inning, George Valera draws a walk. Valera still having a very strong season, hitting .329 on the year. That'll bring up the former Padre, Franmil Reyes. He also draws a walk. Might have looked like he went around, but the umpire says no, so Reyes is aboard. That'll bring up another former San Diego Padre, Manuel Margot, with runners on the corners and 1 out. Margot's going to rip this one into left field. That'll score a run, and the Cleveland Guardians are on the board. It's an RBI double for Manny Margot, and it's a 1-0 ball game. And Cleveland has 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out. Big opportunity for the struggling Brian Rocchio, who pops this one into center field. That should be more than enough room to score Franmil Reyes off of a sacrifice fly. As he heads home, Margot heads to third. Everybody is safe. So a good at bat for Brian Rocchio. He drives in a run, and it is a 2-0 game. Manny Machado leads off the bottom of the second. He goes down looking on the slider. This is a tough lineup, even though they have not lived up to expectations. A lot of big-time bats here that Daniel Espino has to worry about, and so far he is cruising as he gets Eric Hosmer to go down on the curveball. That'll bring up Alex Kirilloff, the former Twin. Rips this one in the left center. George Valera will not be able to make the play. That one looks like it could go for extra bases. That'll be San Diego's first hit of the day, a double for Alex Kirilloff. And with 2 away, they now have a runner in scoring position. Big opportunity for the 7-hitter. That'll be David Bodie, the second baseman, who flies this one in to right. Jesus Sanchez under it. He'll make the play. Good start here for Daniel Espino. 2 innings. He's only allowed 1 base runner so far as Cleveland leads 2-0. Into the bottom of the third, Trent Grisham leads off. This one is high and deep and a right. Sanchez at the track, at the wall. It's gone. A solo home run for Trent Grisham, and the Padres will cut the lead in half. That's his 6th home run of the season, and it's now a 2-1 ball game. With 1 away, that'll bring up Cedric Mullins, who rips this one into right, and that baby is gone. Mullins was acquired from the Orioles in Season 1 in exchange for Jake Cronenworth and Luis Campusano. Of course, the following season, Cleveland ended up getting Campusano, as this game is now tied at 2. Jackson Merrill now hits this one high and deep in the left center. That one will bounce off the wall for what looks like a double. The Padres offense is having a great inning here. Daniel Espino has already allowed 2 home runs and now a double as San Diego looks to take the lead. 1 away from Machado, grounds this one up the middle. Marte deflects it. That's an infield single for Machado, but if Marte does not deflect that ball, Jackson Merrill scores easily, so that might have saved a run. Eric Hosmer is going to ground this one to first. Bell will step on the bag. So the Padres scored 2 off a pair of solo homers by Grisham and Mullins, but it could have been worse if not for that really nice defensive play by Marte. Into the 4th, Franmil Reyes goes down on the slider for out number 1. Reyes, of course, a free agent at the end of the season, hitting for great power, but contact-wise, he's been a little bit inconsistent. Another former Padre, Luis Campusano, goes down looking, a former top prospect for San Diego. Manuel Margot, also a former top prospect for the Padres, as he checks his swing on the slider. Great inning for Yu Darvish. He took on the 3 former Padres and struck all 3 of them out. Bottom 4, Kirilloff goes down on the 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Hopefully Daniel Espino can get back into a groove after a rough third inning as he's going to walk David Bodie. So he is aboard with 1 away as that'll bring up Austin Hedges, the former Guardian, now with 2 away. Grounds it to Espino, fields it cleanly, gets it over to Bell. Strong inning for Espino, and this game remains tied at 2. A very close start up to this point. The Padres have 5 hits, but the Guardians only have 1. But despite that, it is tied. Brian Rocchio draws a walk on the cutter, so he is aboard to start the inning. With 1 away, that'll bring up Ketel Marte up to the plate here for the Guardians. And Marte crushes this one into right field. A no-doubter for Ketel Marte. And the Guardians are going to take a 2-run lead as it's now 4-2. A beautiful swing off the bat of Ketel Marte, who probably has been Cleveland's best hitter this year. He continues to rake. Jose Ramirez now up. He gets plunked. Ramirez has reached base on all 3 at-bats today, but he doesn't have a hit. 2 walks and a hit by pitch. That'll bring up Josh Bell with a moonshot into right. That one will go into the second deck for a home run, and it's now 6-2. The Guardians have 6 runs on just 3 hits, which is incredible. But nonetheless, they extend the lead. Bell's 11th homer of the year, and from there, Darvish is taken out of the game. He'll be replaced by Ross Stripling. Darvish looked pretty good early on, but a rough 5th inning will take him out of the game. Franmil Reyes is up 2-2. He goes down on the slider. That pitch looked out of the zone, and he definitely didn't go around, but okay. Still a good inning nonetheless, as the Guardians lead by 4. Cedric Mullins swings at a pitch in the dirt for out number 1. Good pitch by Espino. Other than the 3rd inning, Daniel Espino is having another really strong start today. That'll bring up the former first-round pick Jackson Merrill with his 2nd hit of the game, ripping it into center for a base knock. So with 1 away, he is aboard, and that'll bring up the meat of the order. Tatis and Machado, the next due up. Here's Tatis. He rips this one into the right center gap. Merrill was already stealing second, so he's off to a head start. That'll be an RBI double for Fernando Tatis Jr., and the Padres make it a 6-3 ball game. Great swing from Tatis. That'll bring up Manny Machado. That pitch was way out of the zone, but he still crushes it. This one goes in a left center for a double. That'll score Tatis, and it's now 6-4. Big swing from Manny Machado, and the Padres have this game within 2. From there, Daniel Espino would be removed from the game. He'll be replaced by Camilo Doval, 1.69. Nice ERA. Doval looking to get out of the jam as the Padres are hitting the ball well this inning. Hosmer strikes out on the slider. Good start for Doval. And then that will bring up the number 6 hitter, Alex Kirilloff. 2-2 pitch. Don't even think about it. He goes down to the 97-mile-an-hour fastball. When in doubt, get Camilo Doval out of the bullpen because he's probably going to make a play. 6-4 going into the top of the 6th. Here's Brian Rocchio. He's going to rip that one to short. Tatis makes a nice play stopping it, but it will go for a hit. Brian Rocchio's had a really productive day today. Sac fly, walk, and an infield single. He's been quite good, which we haven't been able to say a whole lot about him. That'll bring up Jesus Sanchez now, who hits this one into straightaway center. That one is gone. A 2-run shot for Jesus Sanchez, and it's now 8-4. The Guardians with 8 runs on just 5 hits today. Sanchez with his 9th of the year, continuing to just dominate here at the plate as Camilo Doval is in the way of the screen. This is what happened last episode with Daniel Espino, so we can't really see what's going on. That one looks like it could be a double. Close throw, but the runner is safe. After that, I would save and exit the game, so Doval would be taken out of the screen, thank God, as Trent Grisham goes down looking for the first out of the inning. That fastball clocking in at 99. Hedges goes down on the slider. That was a full count pitch, too, and it didn't look like a strike, but Hedges goes down anyway. That'll bring up Cedric Mullins. He's going to draw a walk. So the San Diego Padres have 2 runners on here for Jackson Merrill. 1-2 pitch, blows right by him. 100-mile-an-hour fastball. That was up in the zone, not even close to a strike, but Doval gets through the 6th, and we go to the 7th. Nick Whitgren is in for San Diego. 8-4 lead here for the Guardians as Josh Bell opens things up, grounding this one into left field between Machado and Tatis, and that one will go for a single. So the Guardians have a runner aboard here with 1 away. That'll bring up George Valera, 0-2 in this game. Grounds this one into right, and that'll go for a hit going between Hosmer and Bodie. So 2 runners on base here. A big opportunity for the Guardians to look to extend this lead as that'll bring up the Franmil Reyes, who goes down looking Reyes with a trio of strikeouts today. Not a good homecoming for him, and the Guardians would not score anybody. Nick Sandlin into the game here in the bottom of the 7th as Fernando Tatis goes down on the fastball. Nice pitch from Sandlin, who's had an underrated season. We haven't talked about him a lot, but he's been good. That'll bring up Manny Machado, who strikes out as well. Got to be a good feeling when your first 2 batters of the inning are Tatis and Machado, and you strike both of them out. Dominic Leone into the game here at the top of the 8th here for San Diego. He faces off against Eliezer Alfonso, who recently has entered the game at catcher, and he will hit a single into left. Alfonso's been pretty productive this year as a rookie. He's been quite solid as the backup catcher. Jesus Sanchez draws a walk on the outside cutter, so that'll put 2 runners aboard here. After that, Ketel Marte would ground out. Both runners would advance, and then Jose Ramirez here will draw an intentional walk. So the Padres choose to load the bases even with 2 outs. Interesting decision. There's now a force out at all bases. That'll bring up Josh Bell with the bases loaded. 1-2 pitch. He gets plunked. So that will score a run, and it is now 9-4. The bases remain loaded here for George Valera. Full count. Valera flies this one into left field, and it will be caught. So the Guardians leave the bases loaded, but they do score a run, and they now lead this game 9-4 going into the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll see if they can finish this game off strong with a win. James Karinchak checks into the game here for Cleveland after his rough start to the month of May. He is starting to pitch a little bit better as David Bote starts off with a 96-mile-an-hour strikeout. Karinchak would cruise through the rest of the 8th, and we go into the 9th. Pierce Johnson is in for San Diego. He hasn't pitched a lot this year, 4 2/3 innings, but he's only allowed 1 run. Elliot Ramos grounds that one past his glove for a base hit. Ramos, again, continues to have a great season, and the Guardians are going to look for a bigger role for him as he continues to play well. That'll bring up Eliezer Alfonso, 2 for 2 today. This one goes into the gap. It could score a run. Ramos rounds third, headed home. An RBI double for the rookie, Eliezer Alfonso. And the Guardians now have double digits as it's 10-4. Big hit there for Alfonso. And then with 2 away, Jesus Sanchez will add to the lead even more. This one will go for a single. Alfonso scores, and the Guardians now lead 11-4. Cleveland looking to get out of this game clean in the 9th as Ryan Weathers is into the game. Weathers was a top draft pick a few years ago by, ironically, the Padres. He was acquired in the Ahmed Rosario-Robert Hassel deal last season. Rosario, of course, no longer with San Diego. He signed a 3-year deal with the A's in the offseason as Jackson Merrill's going to hit a double. That should have been only a single, but Jesus Sanchez was lollygagging out there in right field. Good thing it's a 7-run game. Tatis flies it into center. Elliot Ramos is under it to make the play, and the Cleveland Guardians take this one home by the final score of 11-4. Really strong win today. The offense was good. 11 runs, 11 hits. We hit the ball well. We hit well with runners on base. We had good discipline, drawing a ton of walks. Definitely one of the best offensive games of the season. The power was really good as well. We had a number of home runs from Marte, Sanchez, and Bell, and the pitching was pretty good. Daniel Espino had his worst start to date, but he wasn't horrible. And then the bullpen completely shut the door. Duvall, Sandlin, Karinchak, and Weathers all did not allow a run. The Padres' offense wasn't bad. 4 runs, 10 hits, homers for Grisham and Mullins. Yu Darvish gets the loss. He really struggled in that 5th inning, and the Padres were never really able to recover. So we're going to simulate 2 draft day now, finishing this Padres series. We have 7 on the road against the Tigers and Twins, a home series against Seattle, and then starting this series against the best team in baseball this year, the New York Yankees. During our simulation, Gavin Williams fractured his wrist. He'll be out 2 to 3 months. Very unfortunate for Williams, who is having a pretty good season this year in AAA, but he's going to be sidelined likely until late July or sometime in August. And it's unfortunate because the AAA team has been so good in the month of May. I think they're like 16-6 since the end of April. So for now, Xavier Curry will move into the AAA rotation. And then we get more bad news. Another one of our great pitching prospects, Marcos Villalobos, broke his arm, and he will be out for 2 to 3 months. Villalobos was having a phenomenal season in AA, so I ended up calling Tyson Stone up. He was one of our late draft picks last year, and he'll get an opportunity to start. During the sim, the Major League team struggled. We did well in that series against Detroit, but other than that, we did not do good. I do want to point out, Shane Bieber, complete game shutout against the Tigers. Shane Bieber still, in fact, owns Detroit, but I think we went like 5-8 in that stretch. I mean, we did not play well. So we've got some things to work on. We're 4.5 now behind the Chicago White Sox. and we may need to make a move. The shortstop position obviously is still not looking good. Jimenez and Rocchio are still struggling. The unfortunate thing with that is Ramon Ramiro's on a cold streak, so I don't know if I'm comfortable with calling him up, but there's not really anybody else who I think I should bring up. Gabriel Arias, I don't trust. Mason Wynn, I think, is still a little bit away. And Ryan Bliss was horrible last year in the big league, so I don't really know what to do there. Another player who has really been struggling during our team's skid is George Valera, who's still not having a bad season by any stretch, but he has been ice cold over the past 2 to 3 weeks. His average has dropped. His OPS has fallen like an absolute tank. He's just not hitting for any power this year. He only has 12 extra base hits and 200 at-bats, whereas last year he had 46 extra base hits in just 331 at-bats. It feels like the honeymoon phase of George Valera's big league career is kind of over. I'm not worried about Valera for the future. I still view him as a future superstar, but he has not been playing well as of recent. The pitching rotation's also been very inconsistent. Bieber and Alzolay have been great, but the other guys have not been. Daniel Espino has kind of cooled off after his hot start. Cal Quantrill and Tristan McKenzie are still struggling. So we've got some things to figure out with this team, or else we could really fall behind in the division and wildcard races. But next episode will be the Major League Amateur Draft. We'll get an opportunity to add to the farm system. And then from there, we're going to kick off the month of June, where hopefully the team can start to play a little bit better, because right now, we're not playing very well. That's going to wrap up today's episode. I hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.